I moved into my new home in rural Illinois last summer. It was one of those deals that felt too good to be true. An old farmhouse with over 4 acres of land, surrounded by cornfields and silence. I was ready for a slower life. I told myself I needed peace. No neighbors, no sirens, no stress. Just me, my dog Jasper, and a garden that I swore I'd keep alive this time. The first few days were exactly what I wanted. Quiet mornings, long walks, bonfires at night. But by the end of the first week, I started noticing something strange. Every evening, just before dusk, I'd look out from my kitchen window and I'd see someone standing in the cornfield. Not close, always far back, near where the trees began. A dark figure, unmoving, like a scarecrow. The first time I brushed it off. Probably a worker or a neighbor I hadn't met yet. But each evening, they'd appear again. Never any closer, never doing anything, just standing there. I asked the mailman if anyone lived nearby. He shook his head, said the closest house was 2 miles down, and that old man had moved to Florida a year ago. I told him about the figure. He just gave me a weird look and said, "Don't go walking in the fields at night." That night, I waited by the window. Like clockwork, as the last light faded, he appeared. I stared hard, trying to make out details, but he was too far, swallowed in shadow. Jasper growled low, his ears pinned back. I snapped a photo with my phone. When I looked at the screen, he wasn't there. Just the field. Empty. That's when I got chills. Over the next week, things got worse. I'd wake up and find my garden gate open. Tools moved. Once, my back door was cracked open. I started locking everything. Even during the day, Jasper never left my side. One night around 3 a.m., Jasper started barking wildly at the back door. I rushed downstairs and flicked on the floodlights. Nothing. But when I opened the door, there were footprints in the dirt. Deep ones. Boot prints. They led from the field, stopped at my door, and turned around. I called the sheriff the next morning. He came by, took a look, and said it was probably some drunk or a prankster. People do stupid stuff when they know someone new moved in, he said. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I installed cameras. One on the front porch, one on the back. One pointed at the field. That night, I sat in the living room, watching the feed on my laptop. Just after sunset, he showed up again. This time, closer. He was maybe 50 feet from the edge of the yard. Still not moving, still just watching. I zoomed in, but the image pixelated. He was wearing something dark and maybe a hat. At 2 a.m., my feed cut to static. All 3 cameras gone. I ran to the window and flipped on the lights. The field was empty, but in the morning I found something at the edge of the grass. A bundle of old corn husks, tied with twine, sitting in the exact spot he had been. I didn't touch it, just burned it. I tried to go about life like normal, but I couldn't focus. I was jumping at every sound, constantly checking the windows. Jasper refused to go near the fields. He'd whimper and back away like something was there, something I couldn't see. Then the dream started. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, my heart pounding. Always the same. Walking in the cornfield, hearing whispers in the stalks, feeling something behind me. I'd turn, and the man would be there, faceless, towering, pointing at me. I began staying up all night, keeping every light on. One night I must have dozed off because I woke to Jasper growling, low and furious. I sat up and realized my bedroom window was open. It had been locked. On the sill, something had been carved into the wood. 4 letters. Come. That broke me. I packed a bag and went to stay in a motel the next town over. I needed space. I needed to breathe. After a few days, I drove back to grab more clothes. I pulled up to the house just before dark and saw him standing on my porch. He didn't move when I stopped the car, didn't flinch when I hit the horn, just stared. I backed out of the driveway and called the police again. They searched the house, the yard, the fields. No one, but the officers looked nervous. One of them, a young guy, pulled me aside and said, "You're not the first person to see him. That house, that land, it has a history." He wouldn't say more. I spent the night in my car, parked in a Walmart lot, trying to piece it all together. Why me? Why now? I called the realtor the next day, pretending I was a buyer, and asked if anything strange had ever happened there. She paused, then said, "We're not legally required to disclose deaths on rural properties, but if you have concerns, I suggest doing your own research." So I did, and I found it. 30 years ago, a man named Emery Clay lived on that property, a farmer, reclusive. Neighbors said he started acting strange, talking about shadows in the corn, seeing people who weren't there. Then one day he walked into the field and never came back. They searched for a week. Dogs, helicopters, nothing. No trace. Like the corn swallowed him whole. They declared him dead. But the next family who moved in lasted 3 months before leaving without a word. The ones after that, 6 weeks. The house had been empty for over 5 years before I bought it. They never told me. I haven't been back since. But sometimes at night I dream of cornfields, and I hear the crunch of footsteps behind me. And every morning when I wake up, my phone has a new photo in the camera roll. Always the same. Me, sleeping, and through the window, the man in the field.